There I am. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to our Wednesday night. This is the Sports Crib, and boy, it already seems like the season is winding down. Where did these 17 weeks go so quickly? But here we are, and tonight we'll be talking a little bit about the bowl games that are coming up. Well, not the bowl games, but and specifically the college football playoffs. Talk a little bit about that. Talk about, of course, the big upsets this weekend. So let's get right to it. I see Dave is in the queue. Dave, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right.
I don't see you here. Where are you, Dave? I see you. Let's see.
Oh, I'm on. I don't see me up on the thing, but it says you're in the show. So how you doing, James?
I'm doing fine. Let's see if we can get Reggie up here. Reggie, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm not here on the show. I think I have the same situation happening as David. Wait, there we go. Wait, there we go. Here we go. We got like a Steelers trifecta going here on the show.
Yeah, we do.
This is the week that we needed, guys. I had to wear it tonight. I after what I saw here this past weekend, guys, I had to wear the black and gold today. I felt like we needed some support. We need extra support here, and I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, Dave. Do we have a Sue's Corner tonight?
No, Sue says she's in a slump. She says she'll get back to it.
Is that like writer's block? It's writer's block for Sue.
She's been in a slump.
I guess. Well, it sounds like the Pirates and the Steelers. So,
yeah.
Understand here. But with all that going on, look who's here. The man himself.
Mr. Hayes.
Hey, Don.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
How's it going, Mr. Hayes? How's everything?
Going great.
So I hear you guys back east got a little winter. A little taste of winter. I'm not sure about.
Well, we're south. We're not east. East.
No,
we're like southeast myself.
I was referring to Dave and Reggie.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a little frigid. I mean, but 50s is cold to us down here. I mean, 50 degrees. We're free. That's freezing to us. So absolutely, it is. If you want to call that winter weather, yes.
This morning was 38, and I love cold weather, but
38 is a nightmare.
I'm sure Dave probably says, "Well, you can have this Pennsylvania shit," but but I like cold weather. We used to down here we call this hunting weather. We used to go. This is the time when Dad would take us with our rifles and go hunt. But those were the days.
Yeah, those I remember the days with my grandfather going out hunting about this time of year. I remember that also. I also remember some of those strange Thanksgiving meals, seeing the coon down there with the turnip in his mouth and a possum over there with chestnuts and stuff around him. But,
farm to table type shit. That's like woods to table you got going on right there.
You said possum?
Yeah. Grandpa, if it flew, crawled, walked, Grandpa hunted. Didn't matter.
That's like Granny Clampett from Beverly Hillbillies. Possum stew and raccoon ribs and
Strangely enough, even out here in California, I have a possum that lives underneath my front porch, and I have a family of raccoons that live down in the canyon, not too far away from me. So,
Hey, you ever do research on possums?
Yeah.
That's a badass animal. Actually, they're immune to snake venom. They eat ticks. They're actually, good to have around.
Hilarious.
So
They're,
they'll
they're
kill a
very
possum.
good. They'll kill. I mean, they'll keep snakes away, everything away from your house. Yeah, they're really territorial when they have babies. But other than that, they're pretty docile. Uh, you know, yeah. So, well, let's get into a little sports tonight. Let's see what we're talking about here. We talked a little bit about it last week, but now Mr. Kiffin has actually moved on. And Kiffin, it's kind of strange. He's leaving an actual playoff team for a theoretical one. Don, what do you think about this move?
So Lane Kiffin, and I believe I said last week, I said, boy, he's starting to win me over because he has that dog he takes to the sidelines. But now I'm like, this guy, I don't know. I understand college football is out of business and loyalty means nothing, but the way he went about this whole thing was just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm not even a fan of Ole Miss or LSU, but I'm like, that's just, you work this hard. These kids have faith in you, your team, and on the verge of probably one of the most successful runs that Mississippi's Ole Miss has had in a while, and he's going to drop them for a team that did LSU even break 500 this year? I don't even know, but yeah, I mean it's crazy. I understand that the energy at LSU is more big time. It's more, glitz and everything. But I don't know. I think I prefer the Ole Miss job myself. But teach his own, I guess.
What do you think, Dave, about the way this was handled?
Well, I mean, I know that they say it's theoretical, but I mean, he's going to a school that attracts players, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, the thing is if he can come and get that team back into the college football playoff, that should be a coup for him. And the days of coaches staying with a team for 10, 15 years, I mean, the players aren't, they're shifting around like mad. So I think that's going to be more and more of a rarity of coaches staying with the team long term. And if he can turn the LSU program and get them to a championship, well, then that's another feather in this cap. Now, if they do bad, well, okay, then he made a miscue. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Ole Miss after he leaves.
What do you think about that, Reg? I mean, if the coaches have no loyalty, how does that set up recruiting? I mean, you go there like some of the Ole Miss players expecting, this guy recruited me. I'm going to be with him throughout my career, and now he's gone. What do you think? Does this instill less confidence in coaches, and does it lower recruiting expectations? A lot of implications there.
Yeah, I don't. For one, this is what Lane Kiffin kind of does. So this is like, if you follow college football, this is kind of like it's not surprising Lane Kiffin's story. Like if you look at the whole totality of Lane Kiffin's career, this is like a speed bump, man. This is not even like he's had a crazy career. Like if you want to go back and just look up Lane Kiffin and look up all the stuff he's been through, this is just another part of the story, man. You know what I mean? It's just another part of the Lane Kiffin story. If from a school standpoint, from a job standpoint, I get it. Only because I feel like, and this is unfortunate for the state of Mississippi, but I feel like states like that, people can't wait to leave them. Like they're unfortunately, like people can't wait. The kids grow up and they leave the state. Like it's hard for these states to states like Mississippi especially to hold on to that kind of talent once other schools come knocking. Ole Miss is a good school, so it's not like Ole Miss is just any other school. Ole Miss is still a solid SEC school, and also I do think that LSU is a step above in job. They're not in record, and they're 7-5 this year. Looking at their record, let me make sure. Not talking on my ass here. Yeah, 7-5 for LSU versus 11-1 for Ole Miss, where he was at. But I think at LSU, like Dave said, they get good recruits there. I think the school, if you're looking at just a school going from one school to another school, I do think it's an increase from there. It's definitely not an increase in record, but if it was, he wouldn't be going there because they would never fire their coach. So, of course, they have a worse record now, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad job. I do think, if anything, the criticism he deserves about the timing is appropriate. Like you could have did this after the playoffs. You could have got through this with the kids, got through college football playoffs with the kids, been done with this, and then moved on to. I'm pretty sure LSU, the job would have still been there at that time. So I think that criticism of the timing of when he took the job is appropriate, in my opinion, is fair. But as far as just any shock here, is kind of like if you go look at Lane Kiffin's career, just another day, it's another school for Lane.
Just another day, just another school. Don, Tech and A&M, but no Longhorns. What's up?
I was at the game.
Gracious.
My wife and I were at the game Friday. It was rocking. That was so awesome. Put the ass whipping on the Aggies. I loved it. But, Texas, according to ESPN, Texas still has a 2% chance to get in. So let's not say Texas ain't going, but let's not just make it official yet.
Okay.
Don't pull the plug just yet. But yeah, they're not going. But I'm real proud of Texas Tech. I got a chance to see Tech play this year. They're very good. They're very solid all around. They're probably one of the more underrated teams in the country right now. They have a linebacker named Jacob Rodriguez, who's a certified badass. He's up there with guys like Zach Thomas as far as Texas Tech linebackers, Brad Hastings, those guys. So A&M is in. A&M won 11 games this year, playing one solid team, which would be Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's really solid. So it's going to be funny to see what happens when A&M plays a real team like they did against Texas. They might have an early exit from the playoffs. We'll see. But I think Tech might win the first two playoff games. They're solid. They're solid.
Okay.
But there's speculation that Tech might be playing A&M in the first round. We'll see how it goes. The selection has been made, but I would love to see Tech just beat the shit out of A&M. I'd just that made me so happy.
No love lost there for A&M, huh?
Yeah. And plus our son's in the band at Tech, so I might be able to go to that game.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right. Reg, Bama grabs a spot. Kind of started off a little speed bump there, but Bama.
Yeah, man. And we had a nightmare schedule too. We had a killer. We had a hard ass schedule. In the stretch where we went on a stretch where we beat ranked teams. I know it was at least 3 to 4 games in a row. So we were battle tested, and I think this season's career, especially how to start is a success, I should say. Especially with how this season started off, with the pitchforks. Alabama fans were upset, really, to get DeVore out of there, and now things appear to have settled. We have made the playoffs, and I'm pretty happy with how things have gone for the team. Yeah, a little bit of fade on Ty Simpson down the stretch here, but I like the kid a lot, and I'm hoping that he returns to kind of early season form going into the playoffs here.
Hey, Reg, I'm sold on Ty Simpson, and he's young, but he's gonna win a lot of games for Alabama.
I think so too. Especially coming off of, I was a little bit depressed coming off of, we came off of Hurts. to Mac Jones even, and then when we went to Milrow, it was a little bit. And I've told you guys many times on this show over the years that I did not trust Milrow when he was playing her. Didn't trust him. And then immediately Simpson comes in, and it's like we're back off to the races here, man. Sometimes you can see it pretty quickly, and I like what I'm seeing from the kid.
How you like that championship game, Georgia, Alabama?
Nervous because the thing is, I think it's hard to beat a team twice in a year, and we've already beat them once. So typically, if you have a team, let's say that we had lost to Georgia, well, we might not be in the playoffs. Well, let's say we had lost to Georgia earlier in the season. I would like our chances now if we had made it to this game. I would like our chances. This ends up being a glorified home game here for Georgia because it's in Atlanta. And I like our chances, as I would always say, but that's as I would say with all my teams, that I like the chances my teams play. But I am nervous. I just think it's hard to beat good teams 2 times in a year. It's difficult.
Yeah, surprising enough, even though I had this question here about the only 3 teams from the Big 18 making it, there's a big game this week, Ohio State, Indiana. I think if Indiana wins, I think their quarterback is the shoo-in for the Heisman.
Really? Wow.
I think so. If Indiana wins. Now, I'm not. That's not saying that Sand is going to necessarily be the Heisman Trophy winner if Ohio State wins, but I do think the Indiana's quarterback has a leg up if they win. I'm also looking, and I couldn't get Jeffrey tonight, but there's a good chance that we might not see an ACC team in the playoffs. Considering, if you look at what happens with the teams in the ACC, we'll get Jeffrey on next week and see if that happens.
Hey, James,
think Miami will be in?
The champion goes in, right? Conference champs guaranteed.
But the conference champ in the ACC might have a losing record.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible, man.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's kind of understood that conference champ goes. I think.
Is that how it is? If that's how it is, if a conference champion automatically gets them in, then maybe so.
Yeah, it has something to do, I think, with the Georgia Tech victory. I mean, was it the Georgia Tech? I think they lost to Pitt, and someone else, whoever's leading the ACC right now. It's a very strange situation because I looked it up and I was like, no ACC team might not get in, and I was saying the same thing you are. I thought that was an automatic bid.
It looks like Miami would. I mean, Miami is 12 teams. Is it the top 12? I mean, Miami looks like it will be there.
I think it'll be Virginia or Duke, and then Miami's 9-3.
Right, but Duke is what 7-5 or something like that.
You're 7-5.
Yeah, that's so.
So Duke is 7-5. I have Virginia at 10-2. Am I looking at the wrong records? Because I have Miami at 10-2.
No, but if Duke beats Virginia Tech, I think that's the scenario. If Duke beats Virginia Tech, then because of Duke.
Where is Virginia Tech ranked? I don't even see Virginia Tech ranked. Where are they ranked?
They're not in there at all. They shouldn't be.
Man, goodness gracious, man. What a dumpster fire that would be. Like, if any of those teams get in, like that, are you kidding me? Like, does this even matter?
I'm just surprised that Miami wouldn't get in.
Same, because that's what I thought too. I thought Miami was a ACC team that I felt would get in.
Yeah,
and that's what happens when Clemson sucks this year.
Yeah,
it's chaos. It's yeah.
And with the Big Ten, I mean, the fourth team that was supposed to be a lock for the CFP was Penn State, and of course, they they Chernobyl.
Yeah,
Penn State can't fire. They can't find a coach.
No,
Well,
I
but
mean they're talking
nobody
about
wants to
Brian
go.
Dable, and what's
Yeah,
interesting is I didn't know this. Terry Smith is he's originally from Aliquippa, and which is like a high school powerhouse in Pennsylvania. That's where Mike Ditka went.
yeah.
Darrell Revis.
Anywhere down in there, you got the Tatum and Atkinson from right down there in Beaver Falls area.
Right.
So I mean, that
But he actually played for
might be.
Gateway in Monroeville, but that's where he played football. I know a guy that tutored him in high school, said he's a great guy, but I don't think that, because he was part of the old regime. So they probably want to bring somebody in new over Terry Smith. But it sounded like the players really responded to him.
Interesting.
Well, there was another thing. I was hoping that Demetrius would be here to talk about, their new hire, Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State. There's a lot of what do you want to call it? Musical chairs that's being played around the coaching carousel here. So we'll see
But
what's.
James, you had mentioned, you had asked a question about, will this impact the players? And I don't think so, because Lane Kiffin, he's put a lot of players into the NFL, and he's built programs. So I think his selling point to these recruits is, hey, you come with me, we'll get into the playoffs, and you got a shot at getting to the NFL. And I have the track record to show, here are all the players that I've coached that have gotten to the NFL. And I think that with the players, with the transfer portal, they get it. Yeah, coach might not be here. I might not be here either.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off that, Dave, and say the exact same thing. When NIL changed everything, I think that's one of the things that NIL changed is that whole I'm not really stuck here. So if the coach goes, I can go. Right.
Exactly.
So it's a whole total different situation. I don't know if it really affects you, especially with the money that these schools are paying. Like if that check is still being cleared, if that check is still being what you offered me is still on the table, if that coach is not here. A lot of times the kids stay for the money also. So I think that NIL just changed a lot of things, like the way that might be perceived anyway.
What may happen in the future is you may have like a general manager of a program that maybe he stays with the program and the coach leaves. And maybe that's the guy that keeps players coming around because he's the one that's cutting the checks.
Well, I mean, it was like, Kiffin was talking about, I'm turning over the players to their new coach. They're sad to see me go and all that. And the players said, we didn't give a damn whether you left or not. We already, so, I mean,
that's hilarious, by the way.
It's like I said, with today's climate, and as you guys are talking about the NIL and the portal, that sense of loyalty of, having a coach stay with a program for 4 years, even having a player, like you said, player has one bad season with, one team. Well, hey, there's 56 other teams I can go to. So, I understand what you're saying. And, hey, it's going to, the NIL, I think it's for the good of the players. And I also think that it also destroys the loyalty factor. It brings the financial factor even more into prominence than we already know it has been. So, like you say, coaches and players stand for the full 4 years. No, I don't think we'll see a lot of that. So we'll see. Guys, week 13. Wow. Turned out to be a week 13 for quite a few teams here. So, first, the fur flies, and then we have feathers that get plucked all during the holidays. The Lions, the Ratbirds, the Chiefs, and the Eagles, they all fall. Don, talk about Jerry's guys win over the Chiefs.
The last two games, Dallas has beaten the two teams in the Super Bowl last year. They beat the Eagles and they beat the Chiefs. So maybe I'm going to start picking when we do our picks. I go Cowboys. Hope they don't fuck me over like Buffalo always does, but I'm going to go Cowboys. But yeah, I was impressed. I mean, they're not turning the ball over. They're making they're playing clean football, not getting all those little nitpicky penalties, not giving up the big plays they were giving up earlier in the season. So Dallas, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
I guess the glass is half full.
Okay.
But it's still kind of empty, but yeah.
Okay. What did you guys think about the Eagles? I mean, the Bears beating the Eagles. That's 2 in a row. First the Cowboys, now the Bears. Are the Eagles trending downwards? Are you guys more inclined to say that the Bears are better than what we thought they were this season? Your thoughts here, Reg? What's going on?
I had a Bears friend who was pretty down on the Bears. I like the Bears. I like the moves they made over the last couple of years, and I kind of foresaw this. The change I saw happening in the Bears was similar to the change that I saw happen in the Lions when Dan Campbell got there, where they may not have been good originally, but you start to see things that could lead to success if they kind of turn their way. And that's kind of how I looked at the Bears. As soon as they got Caleb Williams there, and then they get Ben Johnson there, and they got receivers, they got people in skill positions, they got good defense. These are all recipes for a good team, guys, and they just had to get it together. So some of my Bears friends were in doubt that they would get it together. I would say it was picking them to have a losing record. They just weren't convinced. But I like the Bears personally. I like the direction that they were going with Ben Johnson. I think Caleb Williams is a good quarterback in a team that's been snake bitten by QBs throughout its history. So I like what the Bears are doing, and I think it's more so about how good the Bears are. Who I think, if I'm not mistaken, guys, there's a good chance that the Bears are the number one team in the NFC right now. Like I have to look at this and see. But the fact that we can even remotely say, the fact that I can even think that, even if I'm wrong, that I can think that the Bears are the number one team in the NFC right now.
The Bears at 9-3, I believe, are the NFC leaders. I believe they are the number one.
Well, record-wise, the Rams and Seahawks are tied with them. All three of them are 9-3.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Could you imagine that, guys? Could you have said a year ago, guys? The Bears.
We thought Chicago was going to be last in their division.
Yes,
Bears,
we did.
guys.
Who thought that they were going to be ahead of Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, at least the Lions and the Packers. At least you always thought they were the kind of cream of the crop. But yeah, I mean, Dave, what's your thought on them Bears?
Well, I mean, like Reggie was saying, they're first. The Steelers had a shot. That was actually a pretty close game. The Steelers had a shot at beating them, but the Bears, they won fair and square, and so I think that they've demonstrated over and over again that they're the real deal. Now there's 5 more games. There's still plenty of time for a swoon, but up until now, I think Caleb Williams. He hasn't been turning the ball over, and that's a big deal. And their defense has been playing well. So I think the Bears are good. And like when you look at those 4 games, though, it wasn't like any of those games to me weren't like big upsets. Like the Lions, they lost to Green Bay. Green Bay only has 3 losses. Dallas has been coming on. They're second. They're trying to get into the wild card position. And then even Cincinnati, because even though they had a lousy record, they were 3-8, I think, going into the game against Baltimore. They got Joe Burrow back. And Cincinnati with Joe Burrow is a different team. And Cincinnati actually, they could if they win out, they could actually have a shot at winning the AFC North.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, to me, yeah,
Craziness.
they were upsets, but it was they had worthy competition with
Yes.
things to play for.
Don, I believe you were scoffing at Caleb's black fingernail polish, weren't you?
Yeah, it was. Maybe the whole team is wearing it now. Who knows? But
That's funny.
I'm not going to say that the Bears are the best team in the NFC, but I think they are. You can make the statement that they're playing the best football right now. Can they maintain that? Probably, yeah. But yeah, I'll eat some crow on that. The Bears are playing very good right now, and they're not they're playing a lot like Dallas. They're not making mistakes. They're playing good defense. The offense scores enough to win. So hats off to them.
Don, what do you think about them Lions? We picked the Lions to win the NFC North, and right now they're 2 games behind Chicago at 7-5.
So I really wish Demetrius was here tonight, because I love Demetrius. We've broken bread together. He's been in my house. I should have warned him, but Dan Campbell went to Texas A&M, and Aggies will mess it up. He was a great tight end for him, but take a good look at Detroit. Their general manager made all the right moves as far as player personnel. He had a good locker room. He made some trades. They have draft picks and all that. How do you lose with that team? I don't get it.
They bet on the wrong quarterback.
Yeah, that's
how they lose.
You mean with Jared Goff, or you think Jared Goff's the wrong quarterback?
Oh, no. I'm sorry, wrong team. I needed.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jared Goff's pretty good to me, guys. I mean, it's like a bum.
I'm thinking I jumped over to Minnesota.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Now we can revisit that. We're back into there is absolute trash at the quarterback position in Minnesota. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that.
But
Sorry about that.
If you gave that roster to half the coaches in the league, Shanahan or anyone, I mean, they're going to win. But Campbell, he's not he's not doing enough to utilize that talent, and that's frustrating because deep down, I kind of want to be a Detroit fan. I mean, I'm not, I don't hate Detroit. Like I said, I love Demetrius. He's a great guy, but they're doing something wrong in Detroit. Maybe they're drinking the Flint, Michigan water. I don't know, but it's gone downhill for them.
Yeah, when
I gotta look at their games to see who they lost to, because I like Detroit and I like their players. And I don't mind Dan Campbell. I just got to see who they lost to, though. Who did they lose to?
They lost to the Packers.
Okay, that's not a bad team. Packers are a good team.
I think
they lost to the Eagles. Eagles aren't a bad team. You lost to the Packers. You lost to the Eagles. I'm trying to see where the Vikings, guys. That Vikings one is the dumpster one. There it is.
Yeah.
The dumpster loss is that Vikings loss. Is the Vikings loss? Is that divisional though, guys? Because divisional, I'm going to kind of give a pass. Divisional, you can lose to a bad divisional team. I'm going to give you more of a pass.
And they lost twice to Green Bay.
Yep. Green Bay is not a bad team.
Kansas City was another loss.
Kansas City. Okay, I'll take Kansas City. The Texans was preseason for Texas, so I don't know, guys. I mean, the Kansas City, you could lose if a team losing to Kansas City wouldn't break any headlines anywhere. Same thing with losing to the Eagles. Your teams lose to the Eagles and the Packers. The Packers twice, suspect. You want to kind of split that from a divisional standpoint if you can. But I don't think that Detroit has any terrible losses besides the Vikings loss. And the Vikings, like I said, is a divisional team. Those divisional matchups, I kind of do away with records when it comes to those divisional matchups.
But they are behind the Bears at 9-3 and the Packers, who have beaten them twice.
And they lost to Minnesota.
And
Well,
they,
the loss of Minnesota.
They beat the Bears, right? The Lions
They beat the Bears. They beat the Bears
and
by
then they
30
played them
on
in the
one
season
game. They
finale.
split. Yes, correct. They
No,
beat the Bears by
they played
30.
the finale. The Bears. They got the Bears and the Vikings, or they finished against the Vikings and then the Bears.
So
And
when
got
they
the
play,
Steelers and the Rams.
when they play, okay, no, they didn't beat them by that much. No, yes, yeah, they did. They in September they beat the Bears by 30. So I think that yeah, when I look at the Lions here, and especially in the NFL where you can really lose to a lot of teams, look at the Lions. I don't see that the worst loss I see on there by far to me is the Vikings. But if I can look at you 14 weeks into the season and say you have one bad loss there, and the other games are kind of holding serve, they're still putting up their 30s and 40s like they were before.
so
But,
do you think that 3 teams are going to make it out of the NFC North?
I think it's I think it's a testament to the strength of the division more so than just knocking any of those individual teams. Like I think that rather than crapping on any of those teams is a testament to how strong that division is when we didn't anticipate it being this strong coming into the year. Like you didn't anticipate having 3 teams that can come out here with double-digit winning records here. And the way that we had envisioned it, actually, I think a lot of people envisioned it being maybe 2 to 3 because people liked the Packers coming into the year. People like Detroit coming into the year. The big question mark was Minnesota coming into the year. Some people had Minnesota going to the Super Bowl, guys. I don't know if y'all remember some of the preseason rankings for Minnesota. There was very high hopes for Minnesota coming into the year. So a lot of people thought that third team that would kind of be in contention would be Minnesota. And they're the team that's they've switched with the Bears and they've been the dumpster fire and the Bears have not been.
I think the NFC West is now the power division in the NFC.
Yeah.
Who is that? That's 49ers, the Rams.
We're going to talk about them in a minute. We'll talk about the NFC West. Yeah, it's funny because you have the Panthers that actually beat the Rams, and then you have the Seahawks who got their first shutout in a decade against the Vikings. And then you get the 49ers who beat up Shador and the Clowns 26-8. So you have a 3-way tie in the NFC West with basically, let's see, who's on the outside here. Let's see. You got the Rams, the Seahawks.
Arizona, right?
Arizona is
Arizona's done.
Yeah, they're odd man out. So it's a good
3
chance.
teams, and then it's with the Seahawks in there.
Yeah, it's a good chance that all 3 of them could make the playoffs. The 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. So the 49ers might be the best of the NFL. I mean the NFC. Dave, your thoughts here?
Well, I mean, like I was saying before, I think the NFC West is right now the best division in the NFC. Seattle has really come on strong. I remember listening to Bo earlier in the season, and it didn't sound like he was expecting Seattle to do too much. But
well, the big question was Sam Darnold. Was he the real deal? Was he going to be that quarterback that they needed? And then you have Najigba. He's catching everything that they throw his way.
Yeah, and their defense. I mean that's a big thing. And then with the Rams, I think that might be an anomaly. The loss to Carolina. I think they're pretty good. It's just going to depend on there's going to be some division games, among
the Rams might have been looking ahead.
I don't think that they were looking ahead. It's just that the old saw any given Sunday. I mean, Carolina, you take a team lightly, or you prepare for them, but it's not like preparing for Seattle, and then all of a sudden Carolina sneaks up on them. To me, I thought it was, but Carolina has been playing better than they were at the beginning of the season. So, any team can sneak up on you, and I think that's what happened. But I tend to think that that's an anomaly. I don't think it indicates that the Rams all of a sudden are going to stink for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys trust the 49ers, guys? I'm not really a big 49ers fan. You guys trusting the 40? I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a 49ers fan, but when I look at the Rams and Seahawks and the 49ers in that division, for some reason, I just have so much more of trust for the Rams and the Seahawks than I do the 49ers. Are you guys like believers in them this year? You guys think they have a real shot at a chip?
The 49ers are a whole different team when they're healthy. They played like games without Purdy. They play games without McCaffrey. When they're all healthy, they're a different team. I don't know if they're in the Seahawks Rams era, but they're close to it when they're healthy.
Yeah, and they're getting a bye week. They're getting a late bye week, which
very late bye week.
It'll be interesting how they come out of that in week 15.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk about that too, because we got another team that's on a bye week with them that's leading the AFC. So we're going to talk about them too. So I guess Don, the Broncos, they're 10-2. Can the Broncos sustain? And what are your thoughts on Bo Nix?
Bo Nix has come a long way since the league. Right now, if someone put a gun in my head, they say who's going to win the Super Bowl, I'm going to say Denver Broncos.
Wow.
Ooh,
interesting.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
And it'll probably be like a Seahawks versus Broncos, something like that. Maybe Rams, but Broncos they're legit.
Okay. All right. Reg.
And I said it because there's kind of a power vacuum in the AFC that, I mean, Kansas City's, they're getting long in the tooth, and Buffalo keeps like screwing me over. So, and Baltimore, you never know what you get with Baltimore. So
it's time for the kids, man. The kids are taking over, guys. Time for the kids. With Drake May and Bo Nix.
Yeah, right now, to me, is the Broncos, New England. It's going to come down to those two.
The kids out here taking over. I'm happy to see it, man. I mean, let's get some parity out here.
What do you think, Dave?
About Denver or the AFC in general?
No, about Denver. We'll start with Denver, and you can.
Oh yeah, no, I think. I mean, if you've gotten this far in the season, you only have 2 losses. You're a legit team. And so I think that yeah, I mean, do I think that they're going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. I think it's a little too early. With 5 games, injuries can play a big factor. But right now, they've played 12 games. They got 2 losses. Can't argue with that. I mean, they in New England right now are the class of the AFC. And well, I mean, just, the thing is, Mike Vrabel with New England, I think Tennessee made a big mistake letting him go. They shouldn't have let him go. I thought he was a good coach. And that's the reason why these teams that pull the trigger on some of the coaches, some of the decisions make sense, but I think Tennessee, they really messed up. So right now, I think the most consistent teams who's been playing consistently well, New England and Denver. And as a result, they only both, the other teams that you mentioned, Baltimore, they've been inconsistent.
Reg, what's your thoughts on the Broncos here? I heard you kind of scoffed there when Don said that they were going, to the big dance.
No, it just maybe the same thing of like it's surprising that we would hear that. I guess at this juncture in the game, maybe like the same thing with the Bears. Like we're just not expected, even though Denver did look better last year. And I've been a Bo Nix truther since preseason of last year on this show. I've been hammering the Bo Nix. I don't think he's terrible. I think he's viable as a quarterback in the NFL, and I think he's showing that he's not exactly setting the world on fire, but I think he's showing his viability as an NFL quarterback, and the defense really kind of carrying them as well. So I think that's saying that they have a chance to make it a Super Bowl with a 10-2 record is not exactly going out on a limb. I mean, they definitely lost 2 games. They definitely have a shot. But like Dave said, going down the stretch here, anything can happen. You know, one bad week or two change your whole fortune for the rest of the season. So they still got some things to get through, but congrats to those Broncos fans, though. They look pretty good for sure.
Well, Reg, what do you think about the Pats? Their record is 11-2. They got the best record in the NFL. But you got a late bye week here. What do you think about stopping the team's momentum when they're on a roll, or what do you think about a late bye week when a team is 11-2? Is it a good thing, bad thing?
I think that depends on a few things here. And that is record at 11-2, you're pretty happy. I mean, and you're not necessarily having to fight for it. You can kind of put your foot up during your bye week a little bit here. You're kind of in the catbird seat as far as your playoff hopes are. Your best record in the NFL. There's not really anything bad about it. I think that where those maybe if a team has momentum going into the bye, and then they come out of the bye and it seems like they've lost something where that's chemistry related, or they come out that bye and don't seem as motivated or something like that, and that week kind of breaks up that momentum. But I don't know if that's really going to happen here. I mean, it's a young team still. They're still kind of finding the momentum. They're still kind of finding themselves. I don't think this is going to be too bad of a situation. A late season bye is definitely dependent on context, man. Majorly dependent on context. Do you need guys to heal up? There's a lot of things kind of there.
Well, yeah, but the other it's the healing which is big, but they're going to have 2 weeks to game plan against Buffalo. Buffalo's worried about their next game, and so now
already beaten once.
New England has 2 weeks to game plan.
Yeah, tough game for Buffalo.
Well, they've already beaten Buffalo. That's why they're here.
New England just proven to be a tough team in general. Like you gotta have to. They're not a pushover team this year. You're gonna have to plan for them. And I'm 1,000% in agreement with Dave there. I think Tennessee was dumb for firing Vrabel. I think I said that on the show when it happened. That was a dumb move. So glad to see the Patriots doing what they're doing.
Don, what do you think here
About the Patriots?
About the Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mentioned what I got. I said it's between them and Denver who wins the AFC. I think May's done a great job. They're just a well-rounded team. They play good complementary football, and I don't want to be on their schedule. Put it that way. I mean, they have they had the bye week this week, right? So
yeah.
Them and the 49ers have it this week.
Yeah, and then they're preparing for Buffalo, which is
that's like me preparing for a third grade spelling bee. So
goodness gracious, no respect for Buffalo at all. All it took was a bad few games that let you down, and they're not even playing in the NFL anymore. To Don, they're not even an NFL team.
Yeah, I thought it was a fifth grader. Don went on, took them all the way down to third. Wow.
Yeah. And then they screwed me again because I picked Pittsburgh to beat them, and well, I don't want to talk about it. I had a bad week in my picks.
Yeah, so did we all. But Don, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. Now they lost 3 in a row?
Yeah, that's now the Colts. I just look who they're playing and made my picks there, but I know some people are all in on the Colts. No matter who they play. So the Colts are very similar to Detroit. They should be better than what they are right now.
Interesting.
I just they're just the AFC version of it, but I think the Colts are better than Detroit.
I think the Texans could come from third place and win that division.
Yes. Texans are okay. Texans, you watch out for those guys. I mean,
That
they're
defense, guys, too, man. That
yeah,
defense,
they're
lights out there.
they're kind of being overlooked, and they should be overlooked by me because I mean, I live 2 hours away from there, but I need to start paying better attention.
Yeah, they're in third place in that division, but I think they could actually overtake it and win it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
third place is only by a game there. 7-5 for them versus 8-4 for the two teams leading that are ahead of them. So they go on a run here down the stretch. That's not hard to envision.
Yeah, and they have definitely been on the roll. That defense has played lights out the last 2 weeks. But speaking of defense, Dave, we got to talk here.
This is what I stayed around for, by the way. I was about to get off this show, and I stayed around literally to talk about the Steelers so I can sleep decent tonight.
I mean, they just looked disinterested, Dave. You know, they didn't look like they wanted to be there. I don't. The defense, you know, it's not like Buffalo played lights out and put up 40, but, you know, once again, you know, we're giving up 28, 31, 35, you know, and you know, then you look at Aaron Rodgers' performance. You know, you got the fans calling for Mike Tomlin, which I think this is his last year there anyway. But Dave, you know, what's going on? We went from first now, even with a loss to Cincinnati. The Ratbirds are a game ahead of us, even though we're both 6-6. And
Well, they had the tiebreaker.
right. Well, we're playing.
Here's the thing. First about the game, and then about the division. I was at the game. First half, Steelers had the lead for like the fourth time this year that they've had the lead at halftime that they lost the game. 4 games they've had a halftime lead and lost. But even with that lead, Buffalo was outplaying Pittsburgh. The only thing that saved Pittsburgh in the first half were 2 turnovers. Was Brandon Eccles with an interception and Nick Herbig forcing a fumble off of James Cook, I think.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kept them in the game. Cook already had 90 total yards by halftime. Then I hadn't even sat down. It was the very first play of the second half. Joey Bosa strip sacks Aaron Rodgers on the first play of the second half, defensive touchdown. And now all of a sudden, Buffalo takes the lead that they're going to keep for the rest of the game. Now, what's interesting is Bosa landed on top of Aaron Rodgers. And I always thought that if a defensive player lands with his full weight on a quarterback, that's supposed to be a penalty, but no flag was thrown.
Passer for sure.
Right, but no flag was thrown. But then Mason Rudolph came in because he landed on him so hard that he smashed Aaron Rodgers' nose against his face mask. And he was in the blue tent for like 5 minutes with them trying to staunch the bleeding. And so Mason Rudolph came in. His second pass, he somehow overthrows Darnell Washington, who's like 6'7", 320 some odd pounds, and they intercept it, and they score off of that. And what Buffalo did is they ran the same play over and over and over again. I think that Steelers Depot, they chart all the games, and they had this one running play. They ran 26 times, the same play. And Pittsburgh kept on trying to adjust. They kept on trying different packages, and they simply could not stop it. I don't agree that they weren't interested. I mean, they had 3 penalties against them for unsportsmanlike conduct, and that including one against Cam Hayward, and that shows how emotional they were about the game. Buffalo just punished them. And I think that what really inspired Buffalo was toward the end of the first half. Josh Allen was running to the sideline. He started to slide. Patrick Queen and another player hit him. A flag wasn't thrown because it was kind of Josh Allen tends, he doesn't take his slides right away. Well, the very next play, Buffalo knocked Patrick Queen out of the game. He was laid out flat, and he was knocked out of the game. I think that they actually targeted him to take him out to protect.
Oh, you think so?
So, and that's in Pittsburgh. And now Cam Hayward, he's a crybaby. He's crying about, oh, Josh Allen kicked me in the stomach. And there's film of him punching the Chargers quarterback in the stomach and him saying there was a misunderstanding. Well, if you can punch a quarterback in the stomach and then pawn it off as a misunderstanding, then don't cry about being kicked in the stomach by some quarterback. Show it on the field. I thought it was a horrible look. Now, the atmospherics of the game, starting with that second half, I mean, they just weren't in the game. Starting you have 2 turnovers, 14 points you give up in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Fans were booing.
That's why I think my uninterested came in, because it didn't seem like once they sacked Aaron Rodgers and ran it in for a touchdown, it looked like all of the air came out of the stadium.
Well, that's not the players, that's the fans, and they were angry. They were booing the team, and they started to fire Tomlin chants. Where it really picked up is they had a 4th and 2. They're down 23-7. Really kind of out of the game, but they're right 4th and goal, right at the 2-yard line. They run this stupid play with Kenneth Gainwell running across the backfield. And he's a little guy. It doesn't make any sense from 2 yards out. And they stop him for a 2-yard loss. And then that's when the boos and the fire Tomlin started with 10 minutes to play. And that was with 10 minutes to play. Now, I've never witnessed this at a Steelers game. There's over 10 minutes to play. Steelers fans en masse are leaving the stadium with over 10 minutes to play. And they're booing. In Pittsburgh, the stadium staff, they chose that to play Renegade. They shouldn't have played Renegade at all because people were booing it, and it was the most – I think the reason that they played Renegade was to quiet the boos, because you had to have heard them on TV. You had to have heard it on TV.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Very, very loud. And there was a lot of Buffalo fans here. Now, here's the thing: so the Steelers lost more than a game. They lost their fan base. Monday night when they play Miami, unless they pummel Baltimore, there are going to be signs to fire Mike Tomlin. Guaranteed. There's going to be fire Mike Tomlin signs on Monday Night Football. Here's the thing: Pittsburgh could lose to Baltimore this coming Sunday in Baltimore and still have a shot at winning the division. All they have to do, if they can beat Cleveland, which is a tough order, and if they can beat Miami and then beat Baltimore in the last game of the season, and if Baltimore loses to one of their last games, guess what? Guess who the NFC or AFC North champion is? It's the Steelers. Even if they lose to Baltimore the 7th. And the thing is for me, what's frustrating is the fans have already quit on the team. To me, that's like being in a game and you quit in the middle of the game before the result is determined. And the fans have already quit on the team. And the players know it, the coach knows it, and the owner knows it. And I just find it kind of ironic that here you got a team with a shot at the playoffs, and the fans are basically they're going to be booing them Monday night, guaranteed, unless they blow out Baltimore. So and here's the interesting thing is Cincinnati wins out, they could be the AFC champions with the 9-8 record because they still have to play Baltimore again.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I think that the chances of the Steelers, I had predicted that they were going to be 8-9. I predicted a losing season at the beginning of the year. I think that that's probably the most probable case because they have to play Detroit, and Detroit needs that.
They're doing better than I picked because I said they'd be 6-11. So
Right. And so now with Tomlin, I don't think that he'll be fired at the end of the season. I think that unless he quits,
I'll
he's
bet
contracted through 2026, and I think that's now you may see Terrell Austin gone, and that's a possibility because and actually who should be on a hot seat is Arthur Smith, Reggie's favorite guy. Because they've done everything that they got rid of George Pickens because of Arthur Smith, because George Pickens didn't fit into an Arthur Smith offense. They got Jonnu Smith because he fits in an Arthur. Right. He was a Pro Bowl player for Arthur Smith.
And the
he
guy
got Arthur Smith all the players that he wanted, tight end heavy.
That you got the big guy that you talked about that missed the pass.
Darnell Washington, and guess what? The offense just has
done nothing.
So unless all of a sudden the offense wakes up in these last 5 games, which it's unlikely based on the previous performance, he likely should go. But the fans. If you held a poll right now, they would say they want even the fans that liked Mike Tomlin. They want him gone because they're listening now to the people that have never liked Tomlin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't wait to jump in there. I'll let you finish, Dave. Then I'll rant after. I'll rant after you.
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna rant and then I gotta run. The thing is about the one of the reasons that I can see that fans will leave the stands and is kind of one of the same things that I thought when I'm watching the Steelers game when it's 4th and 2, Dave. I'm watching them at 4th and 2, and this is to tell you how I felt about our offense. Not just this year, guys. I felt this about our offense 2 years. I felt this about our offense last year as well. When you're really up against the guy, and Josh Allen is the guy, he's one of the guys. When you're up against the guy over there, you got to look at the guys you got and say, hey, do I have a guy that I feel like can go head-to-head with the other guy on the other team? Now, I liked Rodgers versus what our choices would have been going into the year. And I do feel like with Rodgers, at least I got an adult at the position. I got a veteran at the position. Somebody I can at least trust at the position. I trust him. But here's the thing, guys. At 4th and 2, I did not think we were going to convert it. That's how bad our offense has been. I had zero faith, guys, in us converting that play. I had zero faith in us converting it because that's how abysmal our offenses looked. So when you tell me that the fans start to leave 10 minutes of the game, that's because at that time, Dave, or when they're leaving, we still have the same offense. Like they're looking at this offense and saying, there's no way. Like once we get behind, there's just no faith that this offense is going to bring us out of that. There's just no faith in the team. And look at, they're not necessarily rewarding that. They're doing what we felt they would do. Metcalf is being the receiver, even though in the beginning of the year he was better than I thought he would be. He's never that JSN type of receiver. You know what I mean? He was never that guy. So the Steelers paid all that money for him. I'm like, you're paying that money for a guy. And Metcalf is a guy in a sense, but he's not that guy. You know, he's not the guy that's like a number 1 receiver, in my opinion. And I feel like we're kind of paying for that. So that's one of the things. Another thing with the Mike Tomlin hate is I feel like this is more about the offensive woes. And I get hating Mike Tomlin, but I also got to piggyback off what you just said, Dave. Some of these guys never liked Mike Tomlin to begin with. Some of these people that are complaining never liked him to begin with. And if you're going to say stuff like, oh, you're going to have a losing season eventually, if you say it every single year, you're eventually going to be right. and you're going to look like a scholar years into, when you've been trashing on maybe the last 4 or 5 years, you've been trashing on Tomlin, because a lot of people, it's been open season on Tomlin the last few years, ever since Ben has been gone to a certain degree.
He's seen criticism since he's been coach. I mean, when he won the Super Bowl, the criticism was, oh, well, those were Bill Cowher's players. Those weren't his players.
You can never win. And all the guy has done is literally won. Now, these fans, I don't want the Pittsburgh fans to go through what the Atlanta fans have gone through. What the Atlanta fans went through is hating on Matt Ryan all the time. Oh, get Matt out of here. Get Matt out of here. It's Matt's fault that we're not winning games. Matt was the best quarterback in Atlanta has ever had in their entire life, like by a million miles. But the last few years when Matt was here, get Matt out of here was the Atlanta fans. Get Matt out of here. It's all his fault that we're not winning games. And you get Matt out of here. We struggled ever since Matt's been gone. Be careful what you wish for, guys. Be careful what you wish for. Don't become a fan base that becomes an entitled fan base, believes that you deserve winning. You know what I mean? And somehow you've been bestowed a winning franchise that you feel like you should just win just because. So I think that the offensive woes, as long as they are what they are on the Steelers, guys, we're going to be dealing with this with the Steelers. As long as we don't fix our offensive problems, we punt on the wide receiver, we punt on the quarterback. This is what the results are going to be. And since I got to run, I'm going to give you my last final thought now here, James. And I probably should have gave it to you at the beginning of the show.
Go ahead.
Oh, you froze on us, Reggie.
Wrong theme on the show. And I should have said it first. I should have said it maybe I should have been my opening statement, but I'm gonna make it my final thought because I gotta go. So I just had to I just noticed that just now. I'm like, hey, I don't think that this is a sports thing here, But yeah, guys. Enjoy football week. James, I take it we're doing Fantasy Saturday?
Yes. I believe
Fantasy Saturday?
Chris will be back. He'll be back this week or next week.
All right.
That was your final thought?
All right, guys. Well, here's hoping that we can get a win. That was it. My final thought was just fixing the we the people thing. I see it up here and I'm like, hey, that's not the sports crib. It's not what I'm used to seeing. And that was my final thought. But really, Dave, you can really say my final thought is everything I said about the Steelers. I'm gonna continue, guys, to rant about the Steelers because I cannot believe this. I can't believe this is happening here. So I'm gonna rant about the Steelers every single week, guys. Probably until the end of this season. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. I will see you next week, guys.
You can get your picks in if you want, Reg.
I have to run down them though. If I'm gonna I gotta run down them as quick as I can. And I'm just gonna start with kind of how you have them here, James, and just run down them real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so we got Cowboys, Lions, 54.5 over under. What was that? +3 on the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. Cowboys are getting 3, right? Is that what that Cowboys getting?
Yes.
Cowboys are green. Give me Cowboys and the over. I'm gonna high flyer game here. Got a high flyer game. That's a high over, man. Goodness, Reg. I'm nervous about that. Saints 8.5 at the Bucks. Gosh, the Saints suck. 42.5. I'm gonna take the. Let's go the. The Saints suck, but I kind of want to take the points here. No, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks there. And then, Dave, are you writing? I'm just gonna roll down them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll down them. Okay.
I got them.
Okay, so I'm gonna get the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the under there. The next, I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm gonna go under there. The next one, I'm gonna take I can't pick against the Falcons. I have no conviction in this. I'm gonna take the Falcons, but that's a homer pick. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Homer pick for the Falcons, and I'm gonna take the under.
Okay, thanks for asking. No one really ever.
Steelers. No, I love the Steelers. I gotta take the Steelers all the time. Another homer pick there. I'm gonna take the Steelers. They're getting +6 there. I'm gonna take the Steelers. And let's do the Steelers offense sucks. Let's do the under. The under. All right, so Colts and Jags. I'm gonna take the Jags. I'm gonna do the Jags and the over. The Dolphins and the Jets. I'm gonna do the Dolphins. I'm gonna take the under there. Clowns and the Titans. I'm gonna do 33.5. Goodness. I'm gonna take the Browns. I'm gonna take the Browns. I'm gonna go over here only because that's just such a disrespectful score. I mean, I'm thinking it'll be over, but I don't know. Commanders. I'm gonna take the Commanders over the Vikings, and I'm gonna take the under there. Broncos. I'm gonna take the Broncos, and I'm gonna take the over. No, change that to under, Dave. Under on the Broncos.
Got
under
it.
on the Broncos. Packers, Bears. I'm going to take the Bears. Bears get a 6.5. I'll take the Bears. Take the Bears, and let's go with the under there on the 44.5. And then I think I have what? 3 more. Okay, so the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams, 7.5 at the Cards. Rams and the over. I'm gonna take the. Ooh, man, that's tricky. I'll take the Chiefs. Take the Chiefs and the under. And then I'm gonna take the Eagles and the over.
All right, got it.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Yeah. See you Saturday, Reg.
See you Saturday.
All right. Have a good one. So, Dave, I got to ask you, what did you think? I mean, I look at Slay. We cut Slay, but then you pick up another has-been. I don't understand why we keep picking up players with expectations of yesteryear.
Well, because these guys are rentals.
That's I understand that. But even
Darius Slay is not a developmental player. He's not somebody that they're looking to have here in 2026. They paid him $10 million now. Apparently, Buffalo signed him, so we might not have to pay him the full $10 million. So Buffalo wanted him. Now with Adam Thielen, I mean, he's barely played this year. He has like 70 receiving yards. He's 35 years old. He's a 5-game rental. That's all he is. And whether he, how much he plays, I don't know. But that's what they did is they invested on all these defensive backs, hoping to get a season out of them to keep up with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Other than Duggar and Ramsey, it just didn't work out. Thornhill's gone now. Slay is gone. It just hasn't worked.
Yeah, that's But good evening, Mr. Scott. How are you doing this weekend? I thought you'd definitely be here with your cheesehead hat on tonight.
No, I've just been dealing with this password BS. It's one of those kind of things where I've got to.
You sound as disgusted as I am, Mr. Scott, talking about my Steelers. I wasn't even going to take you through the agony of talking about that shutout first. What?
Well, yeah, it was so ridiculous, because at the beginning of the game, if the man kicks a field goal, you're in the game. But no, he's going to go for it on 4th down. Guy throws some underhand pass. Guy goes 85 yards, and the team is like totally deflated. They stuck the pin in it, stuck the pin in the balloon, and that was basically it. The defense fought, and that quarterback should never have been in there. Why would you throw a guy in there? And the bad thing about it is Sam Darnold became Sam Darnold again in that game. They almost ran him out of the stadium. He became Sam Darnold. The real Slim Shady showed up. But they couldn't do anything because they couldn't score any points. And this guy shouldn't have been in there. This is a guy that should sit 2 or 3 years before he learns anything about starting a game. And that I hold the coach accountable for that. And and the brain trust, not having anybody back there to be ready to play a game every Sunday. They have somebody ready. So that was that was very sad. It's almost going back to, I don't know if you remember back in the day, we had a guy, Les Steckel, who was considered one of the worst Vikings coaches ever. And I think that, I've been a fan of McCarthy, but this season has been a disaster. And so I don't know what to say about it. Really.
Speaking of disasters, Mr. Scott, if Mike comes on the market, you think?
Oh, please! Why are you going? Why? Oh, just take the knife out of my back. Just don't twist it. No. No. You guys are stuck with him, and so that's right now. The teams that you thought would be no good are good. Who thought the Bears would be this good? Who thought? So they
Bears leading the division 9-3.
Bears leading the division. Yeah, what about Houston, Dallas? Things are looking good down there, actually.
Yeah,
things are looking good.
If Joe Burrow wins out, Cincinnati might take the AFC North. But you did come just in time to get our picks in. I'm almost afraid to ask, Dave. You want to kind of catch us up?
Sure. So last week, Anthony, you got 13 out of the 32 correct. Don and myself got 15. Demetrius had 16, as well as Bill, and James had 17. So for the season, Bill remains in first, but there's a two-way tie between Don and James at 50.8%. I think the tiebreaker will be whoever answers more of the picks. And then Anthony, you're in fourth place, but you need, after tonight, you're going to need two more responses in order to qualify. And Demetrius also needs two more. And I'm in last place at 45.9%.
Wow, you had made a rally there for a couple of weeks, Dave. What happened?
I guess went back to normal.
All right, guys. Well, let's get these picks down here. So, what are we starting with? Tomorrow night, I believe here we have the first game. Don, we're going to start with you because we got Jerry's guys, and they're getting 3. They're playing at the Lions, and the over-under is 54.5.
I'm going to go the Cowboys and the under.
Okay, and we have the first game Sunday. We have the Aints. They're getting 8.5, and they're playing against the Bucks, and the over/under is 42.5.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay and the under.
Okay, I'm gonna go the Lions and the over, and I'm gonna go the Bucks and the under. Dave.
I've been taking Detroit in the over all season long. I've been getting killed on that. Not on the overs, but on Detroit. So I'm going to take Dallas in the over this time.
Okay. You're going to do a Don on us, huh? Okay. And the Aints and the Bucks?
I'm going to take the Saints to cover, and I'll take the under. Because I don't know if Mayfield, if he's fully healthy yet.
All righty. Mr. Scott, the Cowboys against the Lions. Cowboys getting 3. Over-under is 54.5.
Boy, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I mean, I had been so down on that Pickett. Oh, I just couldn't stand him. He couldn't catch when he was with Pittsburgh. He was dropping so many passes. I said, this guy's no good. But now with Dallas, he seems to be rejuvenated. Dak is playing good. So I'm going to take Dallas. I mean, I think Dallas, I think when they lost that guy that, I think this team has turned the corner. I really do. I think Dallas. So I'm going to take Dallas and I'm going to take it over, even though it's a lot of points. I think both teams can score.
Okay. We got the Saints and the Bucks. Saints
Well,
getting
I'll
it.
take the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks and the over.
Okay. We have the Bungles, Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's back. They're getting 5.5. They're playing the Bills, and the over-under is 52.5, Mr. Scott.
I'm going to take the points with the Bungles, and I'm going to take it over. I'm going to do all the things that my better half says don't do. I'm going to go against myself to see if I can beat,
All right, so we got the Seahawks, and they are giving the Falcons 7, and the over-under is 44.5.
I'll take the Falcons and the points, and I'll take the under.
All right, Don?
Yeah, so I'm going to take. Let's see. I'm not. No. I'll go the Bengals, and
Okay.
I'll go over.
All right.
No. I'm sorry. I'll go Cincinnati in the under, and then the Seahawks Falcons. I'll take the Seahawks and the over.
Okay. Dave, I'm going to take the Seahawks and the over, and I'm going to take the Bills and the under.
All right. I'm taking Buffalo. Josh Allen, he ran a score and he passed one touchdown. That was it. He really was only involved in 2
He only
touchdowns.
threw for 123 yards.
So I'm going to say I'm taking Cincinnati in the overs, because it's the Joe Burrow factor. I think Cincinnati's a different team with Joe Burrow.
Oh, most definitely, except for
then,
the defense.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're going to have to. I don't think Buffalo's defense is that good. I mean, no. Pittsburgh's offense just stinks. And then they, but I'm going to take in the other game. I'm going to take Seattle in the under. I think Seattle's pretty good.
Okay, so we have the Steelers getting 6. No, excuse me. Yeah, getting 6. No hook, just 6. And they're playing at the Ratbirds. Dave, and the over-under is 42.5.
Yeah. Baltimore has had 3 extra days to prepare and to heal, and they've been focused on this game. Pittsburgh has this big distraction with all the fans calling for firing Tomlin. And I think Pittsburgh might lose. I'm just hoping that they keep it close. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh in the points and the under.
They had to have somebody go
it's hard for me to get this out, but I got to take that other team and the over.
All right.
Dave, you got the Colts, and they're giving the Jags 1.5, and the over/under is 48.5.
Yeah, and this is to take first place in the division.
In that division, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's in Jacksonville, so I'm going to take Jacksonville in the under.
Okay, Don.
I hate to do this, y'all, but I gotta go Baltimore and the under, and then I'm gonna take Jacksonville in the over.
Mr. Scott.
Well, we got to see what Baltimore's been. Steelers look like they're going downhill, and Coach will be gone. I don't see how he survives this year, but I'm going to take Baltimore, and I'm going to take the over. And boy, the Jags have been so hot. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jaguars and the under.
Okay. I gave you both of mine, didn't I, Dave?
No, you still need to give the Indiana Jacksonville. You took
Uh,
Baltimore in the over.
I'm gonna take Jacksonville and the under.
We all took Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
Don was the only one that took Dallas in the Kansas last week in the Kansas City Dallas game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Don, they are. Hey,
Everybody took the Kansas City in the under, and he took Dallas in the over, and he nailed it.
Well, the guru.
Let's see. Did we get to Don? The Colts?
Yeah.
I took the Jags.
Okay. So we start with Mr. Scott, right?
Yeah, I already did mine, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Scott, the Titans are getting 3.5, and they're playing the Clowns in Cleveland, and the over/under is 33.5. Wow, that is the lowest total on the scoreboard.
I'll take Cleveland in the over.
Okay, and we got the Commanders that are getting
You
1.5.
You missed the Dolphins and the Jets.
Oh yeah, the Dolphins and Jets. The Dolphins are giving the Jets 2.5, and the over/under is 40.5. Mr. Scott.
I'll take the Dolphins in the over.
Okay, I'm going to take the Dolphins and the under, and I'm going to take the Clowns and the under. Don.
I'm going to take Dolphins in the over, and I'm going to take Cleveland in the over.
Dave.
I'm going to take the Jets in the over, and I'm taking Cleveland in the under.
All right.
Under 33.
Okay.
Well, Tennessee stinks, and Cleveland has a good defense.
And neither one of them's going to score. Yeah, and Shador has only put up what he hasn't put up I think 21 points in 2 games, or was it less?
Well, he's getting better. He's going to get her. I'm pulling for Shador. I'm pulling for him.
And the Titans should be a good game for him, hopefully. So let's see where. Okay, Dave, I think we start with you. We got the Commanders. They're getting 1.5, and they're playing the Vikings, and the over/under is 41.5.
Minnesota's another team I've been taking all season, and they've been killing me. So I'm going to take Washington in the over.
Okay, and we have the Broncos getting. They're giving the Raiders 7.5, and the over/under is 40.5.
We'll see how real Denver is. I'm taking Denver in the over.
Okay, I'm taking Denver and the over, and I'm taking the Vikings and the under. Mr. Scott.
The Vikings are at home, so I'll take them, and I'll take the over. I mean, they got to get something going. I mean, Jefferson's going to just walk off the field if they don't start getting him the ball. He starts getting touchdowns. He's tired of this foolishness.
And what are we going to do with the Broncos, Mr. Scott?
Well, Raiders are no good, so I have to take the Broncos, and I'll take it over.
Okay. Don.
I'm going to take Washington in the under.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the Broncos in the over.
All righty. And then what might be the game of the week? we had the Bears, and they're getting 6.5. They're playing at the Packers, and the over/under is 44.5. Don.
Oh my! So between Chicago and Green Bay, doesn't matter where they play. It's going to be cold as hell.
Not quite.
Let's go. I go the Pack and the over.
Okay, and we we had the Rams giving 7.5 to the Cardinals, and the over/under is 48.5. Don.
I'll go the Rams and the under.
Okay. I'm gonna go the Rams in the under, and I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna take the Bears in the points, and I'm gonna give it an over. Dave.
I'm taking Chicago in the over and the Rams in the over.
Okay. So, Dave, we got the Texans.
No, Anthony has
Oh,
to finish.
Anthony. Okay, Mr. Scott.
Oh, let me see. Broncos and what is it? Or Bears and the Rams.
Bears and Packers.
Yeah, Bears and Packers. I'm going to take the Packers. I think the Bears are still fraudulent, and I really do. And as far as the under over, it is going to be cold because I'm telling you, it's 3 degrees here right now. Okay, it's 3 degrees. Okay, that's why I got that on.
You got an indoor team though.
Turn the heat up.
Yeah, the Packers are outside. Packers are. So, I'm taking the Packers and the under.
Okay. And what were you going to do with the Rams and the Cardinals?
The Rams kind of really disappointed me last week. I mean, it's really getting to the point where I can't really pick my nose. This is how bad that this is getting. I'm going to I'll take the Rams and the over. The Arizona quarterback seems to be putting points on the board, so I'll take the over.
Yeah. Okay. Did I give you my picks on that, Dave?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Don, we have the Texans, and they're getting 3.5. They're playing at the Chiefs, and the over/under is 41.5. It's really low for a Chiefs game.
This is a good idea. I think this should happen.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to pick the upset here. I'm going to go the Texans and the under.
Okay, and Monday night we got the Eagles, also on a losing streak. They're giving 3 to the Chargers, and the over/under is another low one, 40.5 for 2 high-flying teams.
And that's at the Chargers, right?
It's at the Chargers.
I'll go Chargers and the over.
Okay. Final thoughts, Don.
Final thoughts. Well, today was the early National Signing Day for college football. If you listen to ESPN, Texas has the number 2 recruiting class in the nation. I don't believe that. They had 2 defensive linemen decommit. Looks like there'll be probably about 5 or 6 overall, but still good. I mean, he got the y'all remember Raja Bell in the NBA?
Yeah.
Point guard. Yeah. Well, Texas got his son, who's the 5-star quarterback out of Florida, and he's supposed to be a combination of Pat Mahomes and Arch Manning. So we'll see. It says Hark's really high on Dia Bell, so it's gonna be great. And so I always like to, I like to follow high school recruiting, and hopefully the Horns will have a good class, and we'll see in about 3 years if it pays off. That's my final thought.
All right, Dave.
All right. I think Houston's defense, I mean, the way they took apart Buffalo the other week, that was pretty amazing. So I'm going to take Houston in the under.
Okay.
And then in the Monday night game, I'll take the Chargers in the over.
All right. I'm going to take the Chiefs and the over. Yeah, I'm going to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take the Chiefs and the under, and I'm going to take the Eagles and the under also. Dave, did you give us your final thoughts?
No. I'll just add on to what I was saying when I was talking about the Steelers. Being at that game and seeing the Steelers fans leaving with over 10 minutes to play in mass was I've just never seen that before. All the years that I've gone to games there, I'm used to seeing Cincinnati fans going down the loselator, at the end of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter. I've seen Cleveland fans leaving. I've seen Baltimore fans leaving. I've never, ever seen that in Pittsburgh, and that's a first for me. Like I said, Pittsburgh lost more than that game. They lost the fans. And even if they beat Baltimore, the general fan base, they want Mike Tomlin fired. They want to change. And now Mike Tomlin his contract runs through the end of 2026. Unless he decides to quit, I think that he's going to be retained through 2026. For me as a fan, I'm not a quitter. And to me, those fans, they quit on the team. I always stay to the end of the whistle, no matter what. They could be losing 50-0, and I will stay there to the final whistle. Because to me, it's like playing a game, and I'm not going to quit until the game's over. Now, once the game is over, well, I'm going to bitch. I'll boo bad performance during the game. But, in terms of chanting fire Tomlin, I just don't play party to that. Now, once the season ends, that's the time to evaluate because we got 5 more games. And like I said before, Pittsburgh could lose against Baltimore this week and still win the division. And that's just how crazy the AFC North is. And actually other divisions have been similar. It's just really a nutty year.
Yeah, this year has been really funny.
So, my plan is next Sunday I'm driving up to Pittsburgh, and the Steelers are having a watch party. So I'll be with other Steeler fans at a watch party hosted by the Steelers. I will watch the whole thing until the end, no matter what the result. And then I'm going to be back up in Pittsburgh the following week to watch the Steelers play Miami on Monday night. And they also have the Hall of Honor dinner Sunday, and I'll be attending that. That's when they're going to be inducting the latest members to the Hall of Honor. So, I mean, for me, I'm always going to be a Steelers fan, win, lose, or draw. And
who are the inductees this year, Dave?
What's that?
Who are the inductees for the
was that Marquise Pouncey and oh man, I should have looked it up before I came on. I think it's 3 inductees, and I think Marquise may be one of them.
Okay.
So they do that every year. They started it about 8 years ago, and so they do that every year. So anyway, I'm going to stick with him through thick or thin, just like I'm sure that Anthony's going to stick with Minnesota through thick or thin. Don, I think you have a love-hate relationship with the Cowboys, which is understandable. But, we'll see what happens. There's 5 more games, and some bizarre things can happen. But I think that the Steelers have a better chance of losing out than winning out. I'll put it that way, because they've really been the team has really played flat on both offense and defense this year. So that's my final thought.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Dave. I think Tomlin will be there through his contract. I'm not looking for an extension, and I'm not. When you kind of looked at Mike's interview, he kind of had that tired look in his eyes, I think, and I'm not sure if it comes down, to 2027, whether he wants to come back or not. I think that depends a lot on what happens these last 5 games.
He doesn't need the money. I think he may be the highest paid coach in the league.
No, we know that he doesn't need the money, but I think like most coaches, he'd rather go out on a winning season rather than this particular season. Getting to 9-8 is going to be tough, but and we might have a division where we have a team with a losing record actually make the playoffs. So we'll see. Mr. Scott, give me some picks and some final thoughts here.
Well, for some reason, I just have to stick with the Chiefs. And they're like a snake until they cut the head off, and I don't think it's been done yet. So I got to stick with the Chiefs. And I'll take the over. And I just don't like the Eagles anymore. It just seems like their effort or something is lacking. I mean, Chargers are at home. I'll take 4.5. I've got to take the over on that. It's a low over, so I'll take the over.
All righty. And your final thoughts for the evening, Mr. Scott?
Well, my final thoughts is basically, it's really something to watch. Two of the great Steeler stalwarts, that just treat the man like he's the Pope. They've kissed the ring, and to see this being frayed right now, to actually seeing that it's finally tumbling down and hopefully coming to reality. I mean, the fact that, the man has he's outlived his welcome. He's way past his use-by date. I mean, let's just call it like it is. And I know it's hard. I know it's very hard for some people to do that. But when you're no good anymore, you're no good anymore. And I just wonder if that trickles down, like Dave was saying, fans leaving, which is really, that's a huge, huge thing there. And, I'm on the outside looking at Pittsburgh. I mean, what they did to the Vikings should have won that Pittsburgh. It was only 16. It was only field goals until the last thing with Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier. They just pounded the ball in there at the end. So that's the only thing my final thoughts are. It's just, it's really good. It's really, I don't know if it's fun but I think it's just real to watch, people that, they treat the man like the Pope. Basically, he's basically the Pope. He can do no wrong.
That's every Steeler coach. It didn't matter whether it was Tomlin or not. We've only had 4.
But for Tomlin, I mean, he's past his use-by date.
Steeler fans have been wanting him out since he got hired.
And that's why how he hangs on and keeps on it's just really something from the outside watching in. So, that's my only final thought about him. And I'm just waiting to see where is he going to go next? What's he going to do next? I mean, he's still relatively young as far as the coaching game. So it'll be very interesting to see. Did they continue to plod on with him and no quarterbacks, no offense? Or do they finally say, look, let's get somebody else in? And who that somebody else would be? That's my final thought.
But I got to ask you this, and I want to ask everybody in the panelists, if your team does not have the proper personnel, can you blame that on the coach or the general manager?
Yeah, well, that's like I said, if the dog hadn't stopped the doodle, he'd have caught the rabbit. I mean, they're all in this thing together. You
Okay,
know,
okay,
to
that's
me,
all right.
that's just my response to that. They're all in this thing together, and a lot of times they get rid of both of them. Sometimes that's what I'm hoping what could happen with the Vikings. Actually,
Yeah.
I
Well,
do like McConnell. I do like him, but what a disaster this has been when he can't get a quarterback. I mean, I just and they can't have a better plan for everything around them is good. Everything around they've got free agents that they pay big money for, big money to, but the draft choices are no good and their decision making is no good.
Well, you had two. One's in Seattle. The other one is in Indianapolis.
Exactly, and they let both of them go. I mean, they really could have just, if they wanted a JJ, they actually could have drafted Shador.
yeah.
Why not? I mean, they've got down to the point where they're playing an undrafted guy that played at New Hampshire for 4 years, and he comes to the Gophers and plays for 1 year, and he's your starting quarterback. I mean, if he was really good, I would put this guy on the bench for 2 or 3 years. I'd keep him on and let him learn how to play football. Let him grow into it. See if he's going to be good.
He might be better than Duck Hodges was.
Yeah, yeah. Don, what do you think about that current situation? But I know that Omar has already signed an extension, right, Dave?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because he's been with the team since 2000. I mean, Omar's been there for a very long time, and they have very low turnover among general managers. So I don't.
Well, I mean,
right now he's safe.
yeah, I mean, we have very little turnover on managers. I mean, that's one thing that the Steelers are noted for is for having that consistent base, along with the consistent fan base, which we seem to be losing. But what do you think, Dave? Do you think in 27 we'll make a clean sweep, or do you think that we'll retain anyone other than Omar Khan?
Well, I mean, objectively, if it were any other team, this would be the time to fire Mike Tomlin. And the reason for it is if you're going to make a change, you want to make a change before you go into the 2026 draft. But this isn't any other team. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the way the Pittsburgh Steelers are is and this started out with Dan Rooney. They've been very strong in honoring the contracts of their coaching staffs. And it would be highly unusual for them to fire. They haven't done it since the 1960s, where they've let a coach go before his contract, head coach go before his contract is over. So I anticipate that he'll be back. I think that Terrell Austin should be gone after this. His contract is up. He'll be gone. And then maybe Arthur Smith, depending on the way these last 5 games play out, maybe he hangs on to his job for 1 more year. But then if the offense flounders again next year, then he'll be out. And maybe at that time Mike Tomlin with him. They just won't renew his contract.
Okay. As Mr. Scott calls you, Don, the only sane man on the panel, why don't you give us your final thoughts here on what do you think the Steelers should do or will do, or what do you think of the situation in general?
Well, as a wise man once said, all good things must come to an end, right? And I think we're seeing the twilight of Tomlin. And I love Tomlin. I love Coach Tomlin. He's shown a lot, but sometimes you just need to reset and maybe look at other opportunities. But I hope he stays. I hope Pittsburgh wins out. But it's gonna be a tough ride. You got a 41-year-old quarterback who's always hurt, and you got backup who has never really been embraced by the fan base, and I mean, it's just you have a great defense, but
We used to.
defense only carries so far. But I don't know. My final thoughts on that. Like I said, I love Tomlin, but I think the curtains are starting to drop.
Yeah. I want to see how much money Minnesota's going to offer him in twins, but we'll see. Well, have a great night, guys. As usual, nice talking to everybody. I hope everybody. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's cheeks are sunk in, so I'm assuming everybody had a great holiday. Hey, and I don't know about you guys, but we already got the guys with the kettlebells ringing the bells already. I mean, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I think we started Christmas already.
We don't want Tomlin, okay? We don't want him, okay? I don't care where he goes. He can go anywhere he wants to go. We do not want him. We don't want stale.
Don figured out. He figured out what Anthony was really doing. His angle. He figured out Anthony's angle.
No, we don't want stale. We want to keep Jefferson here. I mean, this is the thing. Jefferson is getting so frustrated. One catch for 4 yards. I mean, give me a break. I'm surprised he didn't say anything. I give him a lot of credit for just, he hasn't said anything. He wouldn't even talk to anybody. What could he say? He wouldn't talk to him. He walked away, and people kind of said, well, why won't you talk? No, that's what to talk about.
Just think of all those guys that drafted his ass in fantasy football. Think about how we feel, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but when you have a quarterback that's never played before, what do you expect? I mean, throwing that guy in there was just one of the worst decisions I think has ever been made.
But Jefferson has what, 6 touchdowns in 11 games?
And then they could have kicked the field goal early and got on the board. But then this guy throws some underhanded pass, and the guy returns it for 85 yards for a touchdown. And that just deflated the whole thing. I could do better. I know I could do better as a coach. I know I could do better, but I won't get a chance. So,
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy tomorrow night's game, and we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay warm. I'm gonna try to stay warm. 7 degrees out right now. So
what? It's what?
7. I'm not gonna say it again. So.
Take care, James.
All right. Have a good night, guys. See you next week.